My name is Rhapsody, welcome back to Slay the Spire, the Heartbreaker Chronicles. If you've not caught either of the last two episodes, I would recommend doing so. Lose all gold to choose a rare card. Yes. Well, Limit Break immediately gives us a win condition. Well, immediately. I actually kind of want to take the feed for the max HP though. Because it feels like Reaper is going to need some strength, so will Limit Break. Feed I can take just as is. And it'll actually be really helpful damage here on the first floor. Alright. Sure, I'll try and go for the extra elite here early. I'll probably stall out this fight in order to try and get the feed off. Alright, so second shuffle, you're going to have to attack this turn. Yeah, it's kind of exactly what I was worried about. I'll be taking 4 damage here, but I'll be using the feed in order to regain 3. Yep, because you get healed for the current HP for what you get on the feed as well. Take a clothesline there to weaken our enemies. Upgrade a bash and a defend there. Damn, that's really good, actually. I'll defend for all of the incoming damage. Hopefully get a turn of letting up. Feed goes off, gets us that max. Defend clothesline, and nice. We're actually going to be able to get out of this battle without taking damage. Awesome. Bloodletting versus Clash versus Power Through. We actually probably could consider Bloodletting here, primarily just due to the fact that we have 2 2-cost cards in the deck. I'll take it. It's just to help me kind of get over damage stuff early that I really need to get out. Right. I use the extra strike there because I want to set myself up for the ability to use Bash, Feed for Kill. Dex Rage is a very nice defensive card in a deck that already has this many attacks. Okay. That's an unfortunate open count. Okay. Do manage to get feed off. We'll have to double block this turn. We're still going to be weak next turn though. Backline, it goes down in classic fashion. Take an explosive potion as well as an inflame here, considering how many attacks we already have in the deck. Explosive potion's definitely going to be useful in this fight, so I may as well just use it off the top there. Actually, I really shouldn't have, because those enemies have regen. They wouldn't have been able to regen any HP that turn if I didn't use that already. That's my bad. That's actually really awful. Wow. That sucks so much. All right, we got one of them down. That was really bad play on my part. Bloodletting would have cost me 3 HP to save me 2 there, so don't really think that was probably the best idea. Wow, it feels like regen across these, like, 3 targets is possibly the worst? Out of all of the emerald buffs that I've seen, this is probably the worst. Yikes. Getting double defend on that turn is really harsh. Oh, this sucks. All right. Sentry down. We get some HP. Red Skull, while your HP is at or below 50%, you have 3 additional strength. That's actually really, really, really important for us right now. I kind of want to take the Twin Strike just because we already have an Inflame and another way to get extra strength from the Red Skull. I just have to take the money here. I can't afford to remove a card from my deck there. I'm going to rest. I still stay below the HP threshold. Whetstone upon pick up upgrade to random attacks. We've actually got a lot of attacks in the deck that still needs to be upgraded. And that managed to hit one. In the feed. We'll be taking an Apotheosis because it's really difficult to look at an Apotheosis and not take an Apotheosis. Take the max HP again. Still below half, so we should have the strength. No, we're not still below half. Never mind, I can't count. We have an Apotheosis, an Inflame, a Bash, and a Clothesline. All of which I would have liked to have to wake up the Lagavulin with. Any of which, frankly, I would have liked to have. Yikes. I go with the Clothesline here because our HP is going to be the biggest problem that we encounter. And we managed to get Bash immediately thereafter, so all turns out well in the end. Perfect. Happy Flower, every 3 turns, gain an energy as well as another Dex potion. Rupture. We only have Bloodletting that'll trigger it, currently. Okay. I'll be passing. I'm gonna need to take some more damage before we get into the final combat here. That is to say, I don't want to have particularly high HP when we go into the fight against the boss on this floor. If I can avoid it at all. Second Inflame versus second Twin Strike. Second Inflame. I don't know how this deck wins against the final boss. I'm actually exclusively not going to heal there, and in this position, I'm also not going to rest. The Apotheosis obviously needs to be upgraded. The attack that the Hexaghost does on turn 2 is directly proportional to the amount of current HP that you have. That sucks. Oh, Bloodletting and Rage. Bloodletting, Rage, and Ascender's Bane are the 3 cards in my deck that are completely useless when they aren't drawn with other cards that activate them. Or are by base just completely useless. Right. Alright, I'm going to go for the extra damage. Reason 4 is because I really want to be able to get the feed off if we happen to draw it. Okay. Feed. Drew it. Whew. Get that max HP. Steroid Potion versus Immolate, Dark Embrace, and Demon Form. We definitely have to take the Immolate. Don't have any AoE in the deck yet. We need AoE for the next floor. Steroid Potion's probably better than Dex Potion, considering how this deck has been going so far. Alright, well, now it's Sneko-Eye. Right? 2 cost, 2 cost, 2 cost. Rage and Bloodletting are unfortunate draws. Part of the reason that I want Sneko-Eye is because we'll draw 2 additional cards per turn, and drawing 2 additional cards per turn is really big. Because we can't get any other energy relic here, Runic Pyramid versus Astrolabe, we've already got a problem with the fact that we have a 2 cost, a 2 cost, a 2 cost. 1 cost that desperately needs to be played, a 1 cost and a 1 cost that each desperately need to be played anytime they're drawn and have energy left over for our defense. We just don't have the ability to do it right now. Taking Sneko will also give us the ability to start drafting into much more powerful, much more heavy cost cards. So large reason that I really want Apotheosis, the Sneko Skull, as I began to, but then cut myself off from saying, is that the extra 2 draws per turn will actually be extremely powerful for us. Flame, clothesline, and yes, there is obviously like a random element when you take Snecko Eye, because obviously it confuses you, which means every time you draw a card, you randomize its cost. But you can mitigate the randomness of that by making clever decisions, which is what we will be trying to do. Burning Pact actually might still be worth taking. Drawing extra cards gives you more of a chance to roll low-cost cards with Snecko Eye. We could actually do that. Yep. Vajra, started combat with 1 strength. More than happy to. Okay. So those bites are also going to get upgraded by the Apotheosis. Just going to make it much... like, it's just going to make everything so much easier. Another feed off. There's the Apotheosis. And looks like we're just not going to play the Apotheosis this combat. No, none of those. We do need defense, but those are really rough defensive cards to consider taking. Inflame triple bite, more than happy to. We also know that feed's already in the discard pile, which is going to make life a lot easier for us. That kills the frontliner and gets the Inflame out. Really handy. Apotheosis, then Immolate isn't enough, though. Alright. So gotta be Rage. Burning Pact on the defend. Immolate. And then kill that target and start healing off of the backliner. Feed's still left in the deck, so play 2 defensive cards this turn. Cycle around to the feed and use it for the kill. Shockwave. Easy there. Do I want to go for 2 elites or 2 rests? Probably 2 rests, right? No, not 2 rests. We have an Apotheosis for the upgrades, so we only need the rests if we actually want to upgrade something. As much as I wanted to use my AoE that turn for the setup for a future Immolate, figured I was probably going to be putting myself in a really risky position doing so. So I can bite feed the back line to keep as much HP as possible. We're going below half. Red Skull's now active, which is going to give us a lot more ability in the early matches. Or the early parts of the matches, rather. Alright. Art of War. If you don't play any attacks during your turn, gain additional energy next turn. Heavy Blade. I think we can take one now, actually. I'll recall in this position, I actually want to keep my low HP for the moment so that I can get that extra energy. Sorry, not extra energy, extra something that isn't energy. All right, become confused, draw 3 cards. May as well just do that this turn. One target down. Beautiful. Come on, Apoth. Well, not apotheosis, but it could have been a lot worse. Without Snecko Eye, we would just not be going as well as we are this floor. I understand that a lot of people have a lot of problems with Snecko Eye and with the design of it, but the fact remains that it is one of the only reasons that we are doing as well as we are on this floor. Potion Belt is ridiculous. Disarm. But that's the champ. All right. Calipers versus Sapphire Key. We obviously have to take Calipers because it gives the ability for this character in particular to gain infinite block. Well, infinite-ish. If we get an Energy Relic after the boss on this floor, we're in a great position at that point. Right. Probably overcommitted on the front liner there, knowing that I have an Inflame... Immolate left in the deck. Okay. And feed. Excellent. Build that max HP back up. Second Shockwave's probably too much. We'll burn the Bloodletting. Bloodletting is obviously a really, really painful card to have in this deck, but sometimes you just got to be flexible. You got to be able to roll with what's given to you. If you just commit to a losing strategy just because you already had that strategy, well done, I guess. You've been incredibly consistent and you've lost. Sometimes it pays off, sure. Not always. I could stay here and just heal off of the Mystic using all of my bites and then letting the Mystic heal back up and stuff. I think I'll do that like a little bit, but not much. Ah, never mind. Feed has to be used for the kill. Headbutt versus Hemikinesis versus Shrug It Off. We desperately need defense. I think I have to take a Shrug It Off regardless. Alright. Yes, I understand that you have to evaluate a card without respect to its cost. And that doesn't necessarily mean that low-cost cards are bad, but a lot of them are. Alright. Well, we didn't play any attacks that turn, so we've got an extra energy next turn. In fact, 2 extra energy. Hell yes. That worked out pretty damn well. Shockwave, feed on the front line. We can shrug it off and then clothesline the back line. Excellent. Ooh, uppercut, yes. Extremely powerful card for this kind of deck. Getting bad rolls on this draw. That's okay, though. It happens. Best we can do is try and mitigate the effects of it. Okay. Immolate, then feed on the back line, and I forgot that I could have played Rage first. Damn it. I thought that I didn't have enough energy to. It's okay. Kind of want to go a little bit further down in HP. You know, so my Red Skull's active, but it's okay. We can wait. Yeah, this hand's just going to be complete garbage. Unless I Burning Pack to try and find some zero costs. Nice. We're below half HP now. This does mean that the Heavy Blade is just an instant dunk on the enemy. Bag of Preparation at the start of combat, draw 2 additional cards. That's really good. Entrench. Entrench is great if we get more block. Because then Calipers means Entrench just blocks us forever. I think that's going to have to be how we win against the Heart, so I think we're going to have to use that strategy. I think another thing that we're going to have to deal with is the fact that we don't necessarily have Apotheosis early, even though our opening hand is 9 cards. So we should upgrade the cards that we want to play anyway. I should have done that in the other order. I was thinking I would full defend, but wanted that extra damage out. Alright. Let's throw out the feed. Sure, that makes sense. That is to say, taking that much damage there makes sense. Frankly, it'd be unfair if we didn't. So we've got Apotheosis in the next draw. Max cost, we still have to play it, unfortunately. He's going to be purging this turn. Alright, can't use Shockwave, obviously. It's a lot of defensive cards in this hand and not many in the next hand. It's going to make that interesting. $27, 17, 44. Yeah, we're short on lethal. Do it. All right. Here's our best chance. It's playing Dark Embrace here, playing out our zero costs, then Burning Pacting to try and find more zero costs. Gotta defend. We're dead. Next turn. We're dead next turn is what I said. Obviously, I wouldn't have said anything else. I can't imagine why you'd possibly think so. So vulnerability, 16 goes to 24. 24 by 2 is 48. 17 gets increased by 8 as well. So it goes to... 25. So So that's the line with Shockwave first, then Bite, Twin Strike. So what can save us? Oh, Shockwave actually draws a card. Okay. That's not gonna work. 24 twice, 25, as expected. Yeah. Dex Potion wouldn't have saved us that fight, by the way. Dex Potion was something I was saving to try and make sure that I would be able to get through the heart, actually. Specifically, I wanted to have 2 Dex Potions so that I could more easily attain the amount of block that I would need to have Calipers go off. Really unfortunate that we got all of the defense on the turn that the enemy was transforming, but the thing is, because you set up their transformation the turn prior to that, and the rest of my deck would have, at that point, been filled half with defense and half with offensive cards, I couldn't have expected that I was going to draw all of my defensive cards one turn and then all of my aggressive cards the next turn. I did not know that I was going to live. That's one point. I suspected that I was going to die that turn with the execute. That's primarily because I was looking at it and going, oh, okay, it's whatever its original damage was twice, because I forgot that I was about to weaken the target with the clothesline. That's entirely on me. I literally just didn't recalculate the damage after I weakened them, because I was already certain that I was going to die. So that's another mistake that I made. I could have possibly made a better turn with more information about the fact that I could possibly live. I still think that the best chance that we would have had was going all offensive and then hoping to get, you know, vulnerability Heavy Blade in the next hand. We got the vulnerability, and by exhausting the vulnerability, the card, the Shockwave, we drew another card. I was really hoping that was going to be the Heavy Blade for the win, but it wasn't. That's how that goes sometimes. So that's a very high risk, high reward kind of run that we've done there. I will remind at this point that I have also won a lot of runs with Snecko Eye. It is not exclusively bad, although a lot of people do feel that way. Drawing 2 extra cards per turn is very, very powerful. If we had have managed to get through that boss fight, and especially if we'd managed to pick up a boss relic that gave us energy, there would have been really very little that could have been done. Next floor. One thing that we were also really sad about there is not being able to pick up a single flame barrier, not being able to pick up like a second entrench. Those kinds of things meant that this run had a lot of offense and very little defense. I was able to play around with that just because we had very large max HP. We had synergy with being on low HP. We had ways to heal in the middle of battle, and then we had obviously Burning Blood to heal us at the very end of battle as well. But I probably should have considered picking up Shrug-It-Offs more early, or rather, more Shrug-It-Offs earlier, so that I wouldn't have to rely on seeing those cards later. By the time I decided that it was time to start picking up Shrug-It-Offs as, you know, the best defense that I could really have access to at that time, it was probably too late. Entrench, I believe I had to still pick up, even though it was a dead card, because it was not for those combats. It was for the future against the heart, because this deck does not, like, with how it's currently drafted at the very least, does not win against the heart at all. We would desperately need to be able to build some defense, and using Calipers as, you know, barricade light is the way that we would best accomplish that. Which is why I was saving the Dex Potion. Oh, look, I've talked to myself in a circle here. For the moment, my name has been Rhapsody. The name of the game has been, hey, I won the last 2 episodes, and those weren't short, were they? Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you next time.